Bradford.
Yeah.
Mr. LaPlante.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Who you got this week? Why you got him? Break it down for us.
So, let's do it. Okay, so we got Minnesota. Minnesota against number 20. Number 20, you got him. Number 20, Iowa. This game is in Iowa City. Big game in Iowa City. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm feeling adventurous today. Feeling very adventurous. I'm gonna take two. Every game. Actually, no, I lie. Okay, 2 of my games. I got 3 games. Okay, I got two of my games are gonna be money line picks. All right, you ready for this? I'm taking the underdog against Iowa. I am taking Minnesota against Iowa against all odds to beat Iowa. I am rooting for chaos in the Big Ten. We're doing.
Dude, you gotta. All right, I got a favor to ask you then. When you're writing this on the show sheet, don't put the spread. You got to put the odds.
Perfect.
The money line.
Great.
Odds.
The money line. What are they? Hold on. What are they?
I'm looking at it right now.
Let me see.
They are plus 190. Basically, you put $1 in, you get $2 back.
Perfect.
If they win.
Perfect.
Or you win $2. So like normally, if you were to bet Minnesota plus 4.5, you put $1 in, you get $1 back in like $1 profit. Right? You have $2 total. This you would get $3 total.
And I didn't plan this. This was not a plan. This is not my plan. This is my impulsive.
This will net you.
My impulsive.
This will net you 2 points if
Perfect.
you get a plus 2 point money line.
Awesome.
Because we're doing or plus 2, and they say, as they say in the betting world, plus 2 units.
And we're 2 units, absolutely.
Yes.
So here's my second game. Okay, we got Minnesota. Okay, so first game, Minnesota, number 20, Iowa. Minnesota, I got them. Their spread is only -5.5. With Iowa winning.
Moved to 4.5 as of today.
Has it really?
But that.
We'll put that
but that's
down.
fine.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I think it's a closer game than people realize.
These are, by the way, we do play. These are, placed. The line is when at time of recording. Basically, that's when we put our bet in.
Yeah.
So
right. Because
if these have changed by Saturday morning, I don't want to hear
it. Next money line pick I got is number 9, Notre Dame. Against
picking Virginia, folks.
Against Virginia. Now I want to bring something up about Virginia. Okay.
Now tell me how much you hate.
I hate Notre Dame. I know you hate Notre Dame, but Virginia, a good team. Okay. Now, do you know who Virginia beat earlier this year? Virginia beat Miami. That's not impressive. Okay. You know who Virginia lost to? They lost to North Carolina. They lost to Wake Forest. Right. They lost to BYU. Do you know what all those teams have in common? They're ranked. They are ranked teams. They are good teams. Do you know what Virginia's going to do today? I think they got something to say. I think, or not today, but this weekend, Notre Dame will shit the bed against Virginia. Virginia wins. I got a money line pick, and I got Virginia winning this game. Absolutely.
Brad's a fan of the dogs.
I'm taking Super Dogs Saturday. All right. This game again is a little bit different. Next one up is Oklahoma, and I had to do this one. Number 8 Oklahoma and number 13 Baylor. I do think that Oklahoma walks out of the season with a loss. I don't think it'll be this week, but I do think that Baylor covers the spread. So Baylor is gonna, and again, the spread is like -5.5. So I think that Baylor absolutely loses by like a field goal or something. I think that Oklahoma ain't good enough to win this game by multiple points. So that's.
I think I agree. 5.5 is the devil's number.
Oh, it is. Absolutely, it is.
That's in betting. I hate anything 5.5.
I feel like 4.5 is also kind of in that territory.
Those two numbers I hate.
Yeah.
I hate.
Yeah.
All right, I like it, Brad. I do want to point out the scores is Brad is 27. You know, you got that big boost on me after the A&M pick to beat Bama straight up, which I still can't believe to this day. But I, folks, have caught up with some savvy, smart picks.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm up to 23. I'm 4 points behind Mr. Bradford here. I've caught up. He's slacked a little bit this week. He's been riding the highs of that Bama win for too long, and here we are. So, thank you for correcting on the show sheet. I had Iowa. That game doesn't exist.
Yeah,
anyway,
game does not
first going to
exist.
start off number 19 Purdue at number 3 Ohio State. Give me Ohio State. Purdue coming off a very big win. They have to go to the hardest place to play in the Big Ten in Ohio State. And Ohio State is only number 4 in the playoff. They just keep getting better. I am pretty sure they're still mad about when Purdue beat them at Purdue like a couple years ago. So I think they're just going to stomp the life out of them and put like 60 on them. Give me Ohio State to cover the 21.5. Moving on, we got Minnesota getting 5.5 points at number 20 Iowa. I have this game as well. I'm picking Minnesota, but I'm taking the points. I am not going crazy with the money line. I think they keep this within 5.5. I think that's a pretty easy call. It's that devil's number, but I think Minnesota very well could win this game outright, but I'm not man enough to do it like Brad is. I'm going to take Minnesota plus 5.5. Finally, we have probably the biggest game this week in terms of playoff implications. Michigan at Penn State. This would be, I don't know if signature win's a good one, but it's a big win. I think Penn State is better than their record indicates. I mean, especially if Sean Clifford is playing, that team is 2 wins better. They don't lose to Illinois. And they probably beat Iowa if not for Sean Clifford. Like their Penn State is in the college playoff talk and all that. Well, obviously before they lost to Ohio State, but the point still stands. They probably should have 2 more wins if they're the best player on their team was playing, and that player will be playing against Michigan. It's a pick 'em. The line is right down the middle on this game. I am taking Penn State. Here's my mentality, Brad. 1, I honestly think Penn State very well is going to win this game because I think Sean Clifford is that much better. I think this team is a lot better, and I think James Franklin, while he's a boob, he's going against an equally bad coach in Harbaugh. And I think the quarterback play is the difference maker, and also playing in Penn State in Nappy Valley is a big deal. And, if I'm wrong, I lose a point in this, but at least my team wins, and their playoff hopes are alive. So that's my bet. If I bet against them, I win points in this, and I can say I was right. And if they end up proving me wrong, well then, hey, my team wins. It's a great logic to keep mentally happy. So, yes, give me Penn State to beat number 6 Michigan. All right, moving on to the NFL. Brad, I got a great game for the first one. A real heavyweight between 2 top-notch contenders. The Detroit Lions, coming off a bye, well-rested, going up against those dirty Steelers. Coming off a cheap win against the Bears. Brad.
So here's my take, okay? Steelers, okay, not great. Now, I'm not a fan of Ben Roethlisberger. I'm not afraid to say it, but here's the thing.
He's going to look like prime
So,
Ben Roethlisberger
look at this.
against
Look
that
at this.
Lions
So,
defense.
I have a fantasy rule right now going on. I have a fantasy superstition. I'm trying to figure out the Bears, I had the Bears defense last week for the sole purpose that they're playing against Pittsburgh. I have picked the defense in fantasy. I've picked the defense who's played Pittsburgh as much as I can do. Not this.
See, that really, in any other league, that didn't work last weekend. But because your league is weird,
we honor the punt touchdowns or whatever.
No, punt return touchdowns are normal.
Right.
It's the punt return yards and kickoff return yards. His defense, the Chicago defense got 20. Now, granted, the Chicago defense, because of a muffed punt return, or a blocked punt, I think it was a blocked punt touchdown.
There's a couple things, yeah.
Yeah, it was a blocked punt touchdown. So the special teams unit got a touchdown, right? It wasn't even like the actual Bears or the Bears defense. It was the Bears special teams that really carried you. So even then, like, yeah, you got 23. I think without that, you would have had like 15, which is still insane for a defense.
Right.
But I get it. It kind of rewards like, hey, if you have a defense that forces a lot of 3 and outs, they're going to get a lot of punt return yards. So like, it's kind of I actually don't hate it because it does reward defenses for playing well, aside from just turnovers and defensive touchdowns. So don't hate it. But
so I have to take Pittsburgh though, because this is the only week that I'm not taking, and it's open. It's open. I could take the Lions defense, but no way in hell I will.
No. Ben's gonna look like 2009 Ben Roethlisberger. He's just gonna, whatever he started, like early 2010s Ben pre-rape allegations /thing Ben Roethlisberger. But I remember. I have the Steelers defense in fantasy, and even though I have DeAndre Swift, I'm keeping them because I think they're going to sack Jared Goff 20 times this weekend.
Oh, I bet. Oh, I mean, yeah, you can bet on that. The amount of times that the ball slips out of his hands.
And if Goff, with his tiny hands, fumbles it, oh man, my defense is gonna eat. But and then the thing is, if Swift still gets like a touchdown, it doesn't hurt me that bad because they'll have 17 turnovers.
No, exactly.
So, yeah, I'm picking Steelers. I do think this is a winnable game for the Lions because the Steelers are known for playing down to their competition.
Every game is a winnable game. It's the NFL. Every game is a winnable game.
Was the game against Green Bay in Week 2 winnable for the Lions?
Not at all.
Yeah.
They're like a high school team trying to play Alabama. Like that is what.
By the way, I do want to say this: the Lions roster would beat Alabama. We need to stop with that.
No. I'm saying that they look like a high school team trying to play Alabama.
I'm saying this for people. I don't think there's ever going to be an NFL team bad enough to lose to the best college team.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think people realize. Like, yes, I get it.
It's
like
different.
The Lions are playing with people, but like it's the worst of the best versus the best of the worst.
You know what their roster is more akin to? A CFL team or an XFL team. That is.
See, I don't even. It's weird because like their defense isn't good.
No.
But it's or like their team isn't good. It just got a lot of players that are kind of just like mediocre, right? No one. I don't think like the receiving core is bad.
There's not a single
and the secondary
starter on this team.
Tracy Walker is probably the only one. He's had actually a very quietly pretty good year. He's our free safety.
There's still 10 holes you got to fill.
Oh, yeah. No one else. Derek Barnes could be. He's been fun so far, but he's like he's a 6th-round pick.
Penei
he needs
Sewell's
work.
Been struggling, so.
He's had good weeks. He had good weeks in week 7 and 6. But no, it's kind of weird with the Lions. It's like they have a good O-line. Obviously, Ragnow's out and Decker's been out. So like next year's when we'll really see that click. But like they have Jamal Williams and Swift, a good running back duo. They have a good tight end. The offense like has the ability to be good. It's just held back by the fact that the receivers are ass. Although hopefully Josh Reynolds helps with that a little bit. And Goff is Jared Goff. He sucks.
Right.
Yeah, I'm picking the Steelers because again, if the Lions could win this game, but again, if I pick the Lions to win, or if I pick the Steelers to win, and they do, then hey, I was right in this. But the Lions win, it's like, I was wrong in this, but hey, my team finally won a fucking game.
Right.
So, all right, moving on. Seahawks at Packers.
Seahawks.
You got why?
Seahawks. Absolutely.
Talk to me.
Seahawks. Why? Because well, first off. That depends. Here's
Russell
the thing.
Wilson is back.
Will Aaron Rodgers be back?
That's the $1 million question. Because
Isn't it?
The earliest he could return was Saturday.
Right?
But the thing is, that is under specific circumstances. So if there is an instant, like if he fails a COVID test or something before the game, he could be out on Sunday too.
Right. So I'm not gonna bet against that. I think you picked a shitty game, to be honest. But I'm gonna take Seattle.
It's the biggest game of the week.
I mean, yeah. But if I were
there's two. Well, the next 2 games are bigger, but this is probably the 3rd biggest game of the week.
If I was betting, I would.
This is the biggest 1 o'clock.
If
game.
I was betting, I would absolutely not touch this game. I just want to put that out
100%.
there. I would not.
Because the Seahawks are the Seahawks. Russell Wilson is back. That is important to know. I will take the Seahawks, but I think so. We're doing this under a presumption. If the Packers, if Rodgers doesn't play, Seahawks win. But if Rodgers plays, I'm picking Packers. That is my caveat. So this is a game time bet. We'll see what happens. All right, Chiefs at Raiders. Who you got?
I gotta take the Chiefs. It's hard for me to bet against the Chiefs right now, and you can't convince me to do it with the Raiders. So I have to take the Chiefs.
Yeah, give me the Raiders. Chiefs have played like shit.
Yeah,
they played like
you're
shit.
right. You're right.
They've looked. They barely beat Jordan Love last week.
That's fair.
It is not clicking. And again, if I pick this, I have the Chiefs running back. So if I'm wrong, the Chiefs score like a bazillion points, and hopefully my running back does. So that's not the only. Excuse me. That's not the only reason. I genuinely think the Raiders This is like a quintessential Raiders. This is a quintessential Raiders win. Like this is a game they win. Like they get beat by the fucking Giants last week, but then they win this week against the Chiefs.
A lot of bad teams are like that. Like they beat the teams they're not supposed to, and then they lose to the teams that they're supposed to beat. Mm-hmm. So
Yep. All right, and then the big Monday night game, Rams at 49ers.
If you're the 49ers. Like when do you just give it to Trey Lance at this point? Like, I think now
they've had their bye week. I don't know. I think it will be at some point this year. There'll be a breaking point. And we'll have to see what it is.
And that's my thing. So until that happens, I cannot take the 49ers at all. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams here as well.
And the Rams look good. I mean, they got Matthew Stafford, who's like
they looked bad last week against the Titans.
They did.
But there's always a game. Like, everyone's freaking out. They're like, see, that's the Stafford we know. And I'm like, I think this is a one-off.
I mean, it sounds a lot more like an outlier. You'd like to think that like an elite.
Oh, but he's 1-2 against good teams.
Right.
It's like, okay, he beat Brady in the Bucs.
Right.
He had a bad game against the Cardinals, and yeah, he had a bad game here. And you know what? He won't be able to afford doing that. But for right now,
he's
7-2.
Yeah,
I gotta until he proves otherwise. If he has another game where it's as bad as that was, and it was primarily his fault because he spotted him 14 points.
Right.
If he has another game like that, then I'll turn on the panic button.
Right.
But right now, holding steady. Matt Stafford, MVP Super Bowl champion.
Okay. Perfect.
I can only hope. Anyway,